What's up, you sexy savages? Coming straight out of the gate like that, huh? How you like that shit? People already stopped listening because I said sexy. Oh well, that's the risk I'm gonna have to take. Ooh, I just got an update. The Browns cut Brock Osweiler. Thank God, am I right? Shoulder shrug or whatever, nudge. So I asked you guys to. I think this is gonna be a fun episode. It might not be, but we'll see. Actually, first off, before we get to those Sarah messages, so obviously everybody knows what's going on with Texas, the Hurricane Harvey. It's a tragedy. Obviously, it's a crisis. I donated some shit to it. We got the barber shop over here in Parma, so I'm at work. I called over there. I said, "Yeah, come over here. I got some clothes." They came and picked them up, but it's weird because everybody thinks how like bad the times are right now and everything, like how bad people are, but in times of crisis, you realize that the world really isn't bad and like how many good people there really are, and it's uplifting, you know. Like the Kardashians, they donated like 500,000. Houston Texans $1 million. The Houston Astros $4 million. Kevin Hart has like his charity thing right now that he's calling out a bunch of celebrities. They're up there. Zeke, this is kind of cool. He donated 21,000 and said that other football players should donate the same. It's easy for him, right? He's got the number 21. That's what he was getting at, like donate the number. Just anything will help, right? JJ Watt, dude, he's almost at like 15 million. That's insane. Good for him. But yeah, I don't know. It felt like because the whole thing was I was gonna take the clothes to. I had a bunch of clothes. I was going to take them to one of those places that buy your like secondhand like clothes and sell them. Probably would have got like $30-$40, but who the fuck cares, right? That's not shit. So yeah, it feels good to donate. Even just take like a case of water or something. You'll feel good. It feels good to give to people, right? It really does. What is that about us? I don't know. We always want, but when you do like give somebody something, man, it feels good. Bunch of people that I know, they're donating or did donate something. The GNC that I'm at, we're like taking donations to Red Cross. I don't know. There's I forget who it was, but his quote was like times of crisis bring out the best in people, and I'm all aboard of that. I think that's 100% true. But I don't know. Just wanted to bring note to that. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it was my ego that because I wanted to say that I donated. John, you're a shitty person. No, I'm not. Yeah, you are. Whatever. Anyway, this started off weird. I asked you guys to ask me questions on the app. I brought it back a little bit. A lot of the stuff was just stupid. Like, oh, you're bald. Yeah, I got it. Or, bald faggot. Okay, cool. I mean, it's not funny. You gotta be more creative, guys. It's not funny. But yeah, some people did ask questions, and I will read those, because that's what I asked you to do. And, if you asked, I will answer. Who was your best friend in elementary school? Ooh, that is the Thorough Park days. Thorough Park, who was my best friend? Luke Biken was definitely one of them. Me and Luke, dude. I remember 6th grade. I might have said it on one of the podcasts, but I got those yawns again. Here I go, you fuck. One time in 3rd grade, or 6th grade, whatever, we were in like the trailers. I think I did say this anyway. We're in the trailers because like at Throw Park, like when you're in 6th grade, they wanted to put you in the trailer so like you could like I guess the idea was to get you ready for high school. Maybe they just didn't have enough space there. It's like fucking put them in the trailers. But your classes, you would have like periods instead of just staying in one class and never moving from your desk, right? So it was winter time, so we're out in these the trailers. They were heated, guys, don't worry. But our teacher he's like had a test and he was just messing around. He said, "All right, I'll give you guys an exclusive look at it. He's like, don't mess around or something." And he goes, "I'm going to give you a little drive-by." And he said drive-by. And me and Luke, we're kind of like troublemakers, I guess, in this class. This class was actually awful. There was a ton of us that were bad kids. But so he says drive-by. And obviously, my first instinct is to make a gun noise. And it was Luke's, too. So he goes drive-by and flashes the paper across. And me and him are like, and he's like, "All right, guys, get out." So we have to stand outside of the trailers, and it's wintertime, like there's snow and shit. So I go out the front, he goes out the back, and I'm standing there, we're cold as fuck, and a snowball comes flying over the trailer. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? And so I don't do anything. Another snowball comes. I'm like, this motherfucker's throwing snowballs. So I start throwing them back to him, and I don't think it was a good idea, because like, the trailers were all close together, so if we hit another one, they would definitely have heard it. So there's Luke, Dane Cologne. Man, Dane's a certified dime piece now, but no homo. But I knew him in 3rd grade when he first moved here, and he was chubby, just like me. We were both chubby little fuckers. Who else? Me and my buddy Kyle Garn, we were like, it was like elementary school time, but it wasn't like Kyle and Chris. They were a grade ahead of me, but we were all buddies. It was like the elementary school era. Well, this isn't even a question. I became a vegetarian not because I love animals, but because I hate plants. Oh my goodness. Why did I think that was so funny? Whoever wrote that knows me then, because I don't know, that's pretty fucking funny. Who would win in a fight, Batman or Superman? There's actually, there's a documentary on that. It's a documentary. I think it's called Batman vs. Superman or Superman vs. Batman, something like that. I never saw it because I'm not a big superhero guy. Here's the thing, though. I want to be superhero guy. Like, I always tell myself, I'm like, yeah, dude, you should get into those movies. They're all pretty cool. And then I look at this is exactly what happens. I tell myself, dude, you should get into superhero movies. And then I look at superhero movies and I get overwhelmed by how many there are. There's overwhelming, like, how many there are. There's like Avengers the next one, Avengers the next one. There's like a bunch of different Spider-Mans, different people playing Spider-Man, different people playing Batman. I want to get into all of it, but I can't. I can't do it. So, if you guys have any suggestions on like the best superhero movies, besides Fast and Furious, let me know, because I would like to get into that. But I'm gonna go ahead and say that Superman will win because he's a fucking alien and he has superpowers. Batman's got a grappling belt? People are like, John, you're so wrong. Batman has stars too, and he has a gun. You're so stupid. Well, here's the thing. I don't know. I don't know superheroes. You want to be a superhero expert? Go for it. You can be a certified superhero expert. Unless Batman throws a fucking block of kryptonite at him, or Batman, yeah, whatever. Batman just slanging kryptonite. I mean, he might be Superman, right? I hope I'm right, because I would sound like a jackass if Superman's not the one with the kryptonite. What's the craziest party you've ever been to? Whew. That's actually a really good one. I wish I should have read these ones beforehand. Fuck. Off the top of my head, I'm gonna go with Kent. It was in Kent State. It was like College Fest. I think that's I hope college kids in Kent. I hope that's a street. But the year we went, so everybody's outside having a good time, and there was a group of kids. I was going to say a group of black kids, but then people would get all sensitive. But it was a group of black kids. There was like 4 or 5 of them, I think. And they were just running around just like hitting people for no reason. Like it wasn't just white people they were hitting, so it's not like that. They were just running around just hitting people. It was just very ignorant. But, so they're doing this, and at one point I had a dance battle with like a black kid, and it got weird. But so these guys are running around knocking people out, and eventually the cops come, and everybody starts throwing like beer bottles at the cops. So the cops leave for a little bit, and then before I knew it, at the one end of the street, there was a line of cops with riot shields, and like the clubs. I'm like, oh fuck, and they're all just standing there, and it's like a standoff. Like the cops are standing down there, the kids are on the other side, and then someone initiates it and throws a bottle at the line of cops, and then everybody starts doing it, and the cops they take a couple steps forward and start shooting fucking tear gas, and all you hear is like, phoom, phoom, phoom. And these cans just landing and like tear gas coming out. And so me and Dane take off. We were ran into these random dudes' houses, and we're like, yo, like they're shooting tear gas. Can we just kick it in here with you guys? They're like, yeah, fuck it, just hang out. So we're hanging out with them for a little bit, and then we leave. And we hop like this one fence, and we end up like by the highway. So we're like running basically down the highway from these cops. We go back to our other buddies. I don't know if it was like, no, it was just his sister's dorm. So we're in this girl's dorm, and I had to piss so hard. So they're like, yeah, just go over here. Like, it's the girl's bathroom, but like it's 5 a.m. No one's gonna do anything. So I go piss in this thing. Someone fucking like a hall monitor comes in there and is like, are you almost done in there? And I'm just like, yeah. And they're like, are you a dude? And they start freaking out. They call like the campus police. But I was wasted, so I was like, oh fuck, I'm going to jail, even though there's nothing happened. Yeah, so that was that. But it was a weird experience. Like, cops with fucking riot shields and stuff is a whole line of them. There was probably 30. That's intimidating as fuck. They'll fuck you up. What else? Trying to think. OU. So, my uncle, I've explained this a bunch of times too. He's a couple years older than me. He went to OU for a little while. And for like siblings weekend, I went down there, and in his first apartment there was this party, and like these guys started fighting a little bit, and the fight, like I was pretty young at this time. I was probably 16, 15, and these guys were pretty big, but like the fight kind of starts coming towards me a little bit, and I'm not even kidding you. My uncle comes out of nowhere, and it sounds like somebody slapped somebody because of how hard he hit him. And so I'm like, after this fight happened, no. So he hits him, and then it's still going on for a little bit. And his buddy, they throw this kid out, and then he comes back. And they throw him outside, and like right outside of his door, because he was on the upper level, is the stairs. So this kid tries coming back in, and this one dude, he's like, "We told you to get the fuck out, and you came back. Now get the fuck out." And when he yelled out, he kicked this kid in the face down the stairs. And it was the most intense shit I've ever seen in my entire life. Then the next day, he sends this chick to the house, and she's like, "Yeah, you guys beat this kid's ass last night, and he lost his wallet. We're wondering if I could get it back. Like, we don't want any problems." And his one roommate goes, "Yeah, we have it, but he has to come get it from us." Obviously, we didn't have it. And what else happened? Oh, so like the girls like below my uncle's, below his apartment, whatever. They like called the cops or something, and he was super aggro about this one. And his roommate starts stomping on the ground, and he goes, "I'm not being loud. This is just my heavy feet." And then my uncle like took a bar stool and broke it on on the fucking floor, just to be. I don't know what the point of that one was. What else happened at OU? Oh yeah, one time at OU. One time at OU, my my uncle had this like, I don't know why he had a gorilla costume, but he had a gorilla costume, and when I put it on, it didn't really look like a gorilla costume was on me. It looked like I was a gorilla. Like, it fit perfectly to my body. And I was just, he like played like techno or something, and I was just jumping up and down, like beating on my chest. It was a very weird night. What else? Prom camping. Ooh, prom camping. That's a good one. What happened? Okay, so I was going down with a couple. Or they had my beer, whatever. They had my beer. I gave my uncle some money. He got me some alcohol. Not the uncle that I would go to OU with. But so he gets me a bunch of bottles of of vodka, like cheap bottles. He got me like 3. So the couple that had my beer, they got into an argument. They weren't going to come down to the next day, so all I have is 3 bottles of vodka. Well, by the end of the night, all I had was a little less than 2 bottles. So I drank a bottle and a little bit of the other one. And I remember we were playing beer pong, and I go to throw the ball, and as I throw the ball, I fell backwards and like pretty much blacked out. And I woke up, I threw up like Flamin' Hot Cheetos all over myself. I don't really like Flamin' Hot Cheetos to this day. Holy shit, I was stupid. How am I? It's weird how my brain's just like coming up with this right now. But then like, oh yeah, so our friend Amanda, she had a green Kia Soul, and at one point like music was like blast. We had a ton of people, probably 50, 60 kids at the campsite, but. So music's blasting, right? And she has this Kia Soul, and we're like jumping up and down on it. And I'll make that the picture for this of me and my buddy Nate. Shout out Nate Cathcart, sitting on top of this Kia Soul, and like the next day it was so fucked. I feel so bad for that. Hopefully she knew it was us. We made like a slip and slide with like soap and shit. Man, being young was fun. What about, the first time I actually got drunk was, I think 8th grade. It was 8th or the 7th or 8th. No, I've been drunk before, yeah. So I've been drunk before, but like the first time I got drunk with my friends was like, I think 7th or 8th grade. It was at Chonko's house, free Chonko. But I don't know. So he had this. We're drinking beer and shit, and he had this bottle of Burnett's. If you don't know what Burnett's is, it's garbage. And it was like watermelon, and we mixed it with me and this dude Jake. We mixed it with pink lemonade, that Minute Maid shit. So I'm lit. I'm wasted, and we go back to. We thought the cops were coming, so we all run. And we go back to our buddy Dan's house, Dan Grimm, who is literally on the same street as Chonko, like a block down. So we're running, and there's like there's a lady walking her dog, and I stopped, and I froze, and my buddy's like, what's going on? And I'm like, I think that dog could smell this alcohol. And he's like, what are you talking about? Anyway, Jake runs at a tree to try and like hug it, like jump up and hug it. Hits the tree, falls backwards, and then like he goes to sleep at my house because he's wasted. I'm on my bike. This motherfucker ran at least 2 miles wasted as I was like riding my bike, not slow. So he was like, it wasn't a jog. He ran 2 miles. So props to him for sure. That was a fun one, and like. The only other one that I could really think of off the top of my head that is that was fun was Charlotte Halloween. There's 2 times. First time I went as John Cena, and so it's a bar crawl. It's like one of the biggest ones in Charlotte. So it starts at like 3 in the afternoon and goes till it's like daylight savings time was this one too. So it goes back. So you get an extra hour or a half hour of drinking. So we go to this one bar. Well, the first one I don't really remember, to be honest. I was so wasted. This last one though, last year we went as like instead of just being like John Cena, whatever, we went as the Cavs. So I was LeBron, my uncle was Deli. And our other best friend, Kyle, he was Kevin Love. And then my uncle's girlfriend had like this like skin tight, I don't know what it was, but it was gold. So she was like the trophy, and then her dog was our Ruffery. And that was fucking intense. Probably at the end of the night, I ended up in a pizza place with these 2 random chicks. And then when I left, the one chick was like getting married and the other one was married. I don't know, it was weird. But so I'm like walking to my uncle's apartment, which is like miles away, and he's like, dude, get an Uber. He was wasted too. But I was like, at one point of the trip, I was on stage with somebody dressed up as the fuck is his name? Oh, Rick James. I was like on top of like the speaker dancing, and he was like, hey man, get one of them bitches up there with you. So I did. And, it was very intense. I would get more into that, but fuck it. So I was on top of the stage, and like I was dancing with this chick, and it got way too intense. Yeah, I'm not gonna get into that. It got way too intense. And I don't know. I don't even know how to transition from that to the next topic. There's actually one more question. Hold on. Okay, so my mom keeps washing my sheets, but there's a stain on my stained sheets. She said, okay, so this is kind of confusing. His mom's washing his sheets because there's a brown mark on it, but it's a stain on the sheets from my girlfriend's shit stain from doing it in her chocolate cave, if you catch my drift. What should I tell her it is? What do you mean if I catch your drift? You literally just told me it's a shit stain from your girlfriend from putting it in her chocolate cave. There's no catch my drift on that one. I wish that was a real story. I doubt that it is, but it's hilarious if it is. Tell your mom that chocolate does stain. Here's the thing. All right, tell your mom you bought her chocolate for her birthday, and it was made in Peru. So you wanted to make sure. No, it was made in Colombia. Yeah. So here's the thing. You bought your mom some chocolate that was made in Colombia, and you wanted to test it to make sure that it wasn't laced with cocaine. You know the Colombian cocaine? So you tested it, you taste this chocolate, and it was the most delicious stuff you ever heard. You tasted, but it was laced with cocaine. And I don't even know where I was going with that. Just tell your mom that you melted some chocolate and it stained your sheets. That's really my only advice for you, sir, or ma'am. I don't know what you guys were doing, but So, all right, this might be a little bit weird for some people, but I've been thinking like a lot, like way too in depth of like space and I don't know, just space and like the universe and shit, man. Like it's very scary to me. I've been like watching a lot of videos, and I mean it might be bullshit, but it might not be. It's just weird to me, like I would think obviously everybody's biggest question would be, are we alone in space, or is there others? And I saw a tweet actually today that put it in a weird perspective. Even if there is somebody else, and they're looking at a telescope right now, they're looking through a telescope at Earth, and they're 65 million light years away. They're seeing 65 million years ago. They're seeing the dinosaurs. What the fuck? Like, wrap your head around that, because it takes obviously so far for light to travel. Like how you could be looking at a star that could be burned out already, but it's so far away that by the time that light reaches us, it's gone. If anything is looking at us, they're probably not looking at us. That is very, very intense to me. I actually, like I said, I listened to that Radiolab podcast, and I got like emotional a little bit. That was weird. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really know why I got like emotional when I listened to this thing. It was very very weird. I'll get more into that. But so like how I said that if somebody's looking at us now, they're probably looking at the dinosaurs, right? But so I was listening to a guy on Rogan's podcast named Sean Carroll, and he is like cosmologist. I think that's the word for it. And he said he basically said we send these beams for X amount of time. So if we send a light beam in one area of the sky for a month, right? So we leave this beam on for a full month. That place is gonna, wherever we're pointing that, if we're pointing it at a place that might have life, they're gonna have to be looking in that exact point in the sky for that exact month. So the whole sky, this place is gonna have to be looking at that exact point at that exact time. So the odds really aren't that good. He said, really what we should be doing is find a place that might have life and send a send an air like a craft or a spacecraft to that spot instead of just using these beams trying to beam into space hoping for something, right? I guess it makes sense if you put it like that, though, right? I don't know. And then people think like, oh, well, we can't be the first people to ever like have life, and but why not? Why can't we be the first people? Like everything has to start somewhere, right? We started from a single cell organism, went through all this bullshit, and now we're what we are. So why can't there could be single celled organisms on other planets, but maybe they're not to where we need to be. So maybe we like what if we are the only things that have this weird life that we have? All this bullshit. You need the best car. You need the best I don't know, man. It's weird. I told you I've been thinking way too much on this. Like are we the only ones that have like this structured community? And like we're so lucky. Especially if you are one of the people that has a car, even if your car is a POS. Like, if you have a car, you're doing all right. If you have a job, you're doing okay. Stop stressing so much. I stress way too much about this shit. I don't know, man. No one's gonna make it out alive. No matter if you have $1 billion in your bank account or if you have $4 in your bank account, you're not gonna make it out alive. And another thing that's like I've been thinking about the whole making it out alive thing. That's I'll just get into all this later. It's just like I said, no one makes it out alive. You're gonna die, and everyone you know is gonna die. Like just think about that for a second. Everyone that you know at this moment in time, everybody that you see on TV, all the people that you're trying to be like, they're gonna die. You're gonna die. I'm gonna die. So, like, what is the point of this whole thing? Like, I'm not, like, living. I'm not, like, suicidal or anything. I'm saying, like, what is the point of, like, just falling in line and doing what everybody tells you to do? Our planet is like our home. It's a home right now. But like it's just a planet. It's a big rock flying through space. I don't know, man. I'm obviously way too thinking hard into this. The thing is, I'm not even high right now. This is my brain. I jotted down these ideas when I was completely sober. And now my brain is just taking over, and I'm rambling about space. You guys are probably like, this is a fucking weird podcast. He said it was going to be a good one, and now this is where I'm at. And I apologize. Hopefully it was good at the beginning, at least. I don't know. What I mean is, like, our planet is what it is, but what is the big picture here? You know? What are we working for right now? I don't know, man. I get it that we need money to do things and we need to repopulate so everybody can live on, but I'm talking big picture. Like, when we're gone, what was the point? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I always, like, I don't know why, but I've been, like, picturing myself like aerial view of me, so it's just a camera on top of me, and that camera zooms out until I'm like just a little dot, and then it keeps zooming out until it goes through the clouds. So I'm looking at clouds now, and then it keeps zooming out until it's just the Earth, and it keeps zooming out till Earth is just a little tiny dot. And then it zooms out to the point where it's just nothing. There's just light, like dots, galaxies. Man, I'm throwing myself through a loop right now. Dude, I am freaking myself out. Like, picture that, just an aerial view of you. Obviously, I did, and that's why I stopped talking. An aerial view of yourself, and a camera just pans out until you're not even in the picture. Holy shit. Oh man, I'm really throwing myself through a loop. But yeah, so the Radiolab thing that it's a podcast, but they did a podcast like the day after the eclipse, and it was called "The Other Side of the Sun." Yeah, I don't know. I got real emotional listening to it. They explained about the Voyager spacecrafts and like what they sent out. It's called the Golden Record, and it's a bunch of different languages. Like everybody saying hello, like this is Earth, whatever, or something. I don't know. They put like a couple different like cultures, music, like a Japanese music. Like look it up if you have the chance. It's called the Golden Record. Look up like the Voyager Golden Record sounds or something. But they put all this on the Voyager and they sent it out into space. I don't know what the point of it was. I don't know. I really don't. But they sent it out, and so like just recently, I think 2012, 2014 ish, it reached the end of our galaxy. Like the Milky Way, it burst out of that. So essentially, what you have is we have like our spiral galaxy, right? And at the edge of this is, well, here, I'll do this. This will be better. So they sent this out, and it's recording this whole time. So it had like it had audio for a while, and it was taking pictures too. Or no, that's what was first. It was taking pictures, and it finally got to the point where if they kept taking the pictures, that it would have just died, and there would be no more audio or anything. It'd just be floating. So what they did was when they determined that if they kept the cameras on, that it would be donezo, mission over. They had it turn around, and when Earth was in sight, they took one last picture. You can go look at this. It's the Voyager's last picture, Voyager picture from Earth. It's probably the first one that pops up. And if you didn't know that Earth was in it, you would have no idea what that was. It's a picture of like the sun's beams, and so there's these sunbeams, and in the corner of the one sunbeam is this tiny blue dot, and that's us. That little blue dot is us, and it's so fucking minuscule that it really like I looked at it for probably a half hour. I just looked at this one picture because I forget who it was, but his quote was like, everyone that you've ever known, yourself and everything that's ever happened is in this little blue dot. And it just put it into perspective, like that while the Earth is huge to us, it's in the big picture, it's not shit, man. It's a pebble on a beach. It's a grain of sand on a beach. And I don't know. I started thinking about like war and the shit people fight over. I started thinking about a lot of like bad shit in the world, and like why do we do it? Like the holy wars. Why do we argue over that? Why is marijuana still illegal? As stupid as stoner as that sounds, it was just like a big picture kind of thing. Like a bunch of things were running through my mind, you know? Like why is this one thing the cause of so many people. Like, what makes a person want to kill another person? Which then I started thinking, there's so many people, and the amount of people that kill other people is so small that you really can't, those people, you can't help that. I don't know, man. It was very weird. And then, like, especially that other night when I meditated, and it was like I went through hyperspeed and then was just floating there. That was seriously, like, as fucking corny as it sounds, it was so, like, it was, like, magical. I don't know. But on the Voyager, they had the sounds going, and so they had the sounds, and the sounds were basically, it was like they were almost to the edge, but they weren't there yet. And so they would get, like, these sounds of the sun, like, beams. So when you're in space, right, especially in a galaxy, everything's pushing out, okay? So from the sun, everything's getting, like, pushed, like, farther away. If I'm wrong, you cannot hold me accountable for that. But so they hear that we're still in the galaxy somehow from, like, the wind or whatever it is, the energy that's pushing this thing, and then it stops. But then it starts to back up again for a little bit. And this goes on where it stops for a little bit, and then it picks back up. And they were basically saying, okay, so we're on the edge-ish. It was like somebody was opening a window and then closing it. And you're getting, like, a breeze, and then it stopped. And it was getting a breeze, and then it stopped. So they're like, okay, we have to be close. And then I think it was 2012, or 2000, it was in the area of 2012, that it finally reached the edge, and now it's not in the galaxy anymore. It's in space. And another thing, too, is, like, people think, like, you see those diagrams of, like, the Earth and then, like, Mars, all the planets, right? And you think that they're close, but it's called space for a reason. It's not. It's space because there's so much fucking space. That it would take so long for, like, a spacecraft of us to get anywhere. Besides, like, Mars, I guess. But, yeah, man, I don't know. It didn't make me, like, sad. Or, like, depressed. Like, this isn't me being sad or depressed. I'm just, like, just confused. Very confused. Right? Just Earth, like, space. When you go down that weird wormhole or, like, rabbit hole of space and planets and all that shit, it's something else. I don't recommend it, because you will be you'll be very confused. Yo, maybe like me being all confused and shit, maybe that's, like, part of the reason, it definitely is part of the reason why, like, I'm terrified on picking a career, to just stick with it. Like, absolutely terrified. And I don't know. Like, there's got to be something out there that doesn't require college and I'll be happy doing. Here's the thing, though. I don't need, like, money to make me happy. I need money to live, but I don't need, like, what do they say? You don't need to, I'm gonna fuck this up. You don't live to work, you work to live, or whatever they say. Like, I don't need, like, material things don't really make me happy. Going outside, like, wondering about space, looking at that stupid fucking picture. It's not stupid, though. Go look at it. That kind of shit makes me happy. Watching fucking Netflix. I watched this movie, Turbo Kid. It was fucking nuts. Anyway, oh yeah, it was not last year. It was a few years ago. this was like where, like, I've always been interested in space and shit, but a few years ago, there was a meteor shower. And there was a meteor shower that you could see in Ohio. And me and my grandpa, it was kind of cold out. We sat in my driveway. It was just me and my grandpa just chilling in my driveway, like looking up. And I mean, we saw a ton of meteors. But this one, like, we're looking up, and it wasn't like a bright streak across the sky. It was like an orange. It looked like a plane was on fire above us. That's how fucking big this thing was. And we both just were like, what the fuck? Man, that's like, like I said, I've always been interested in it. Like, I have a fucking telescope in my car right now at all times so I can look at the moon if it ever looks fucking cool. I'm a different cat. And that's why I'm not really, I mean, I'm stressed about, like, a job and shit, but I'm not, like, I'll figure it out. I hope. I always grew up, like, as a kid watching Fresh Prince, and there was that one episode where he was, like, all depressed, and he's like, man, what if I never figure it out? What if I never get my life together or something? That's kind of how I feel. Like, my inner John is, like, hunched over on a step with his head in his palm, like, man, what the fuck? What if you never get this shit together? I don't know. I'm sorry if this was, like, a dark episode. It started off so good, and then I got into space, and I got all weird. But life's weird. So that's all there is to it, y'all. I promise you guys. Look, and I know that I make this thing. I try to be funny on here. It's under the comedy section. Sometimes you just gotta get down, and you gotta be real. That was me being real, giving you guys a little insight of how my brain works. What else? Probably I'm working on getting a YouTube thing, and I might get some t-shirts made. They're actually fucking sick t-shirts. I already designed them. The only thing is, like, it's expensive for a lot of them, and I would need, like, if anybody would want, like, I can make myself one, that's no problem, but if anybody else would be willing to wear one or something, I would need, like, a little bit of moolah. But I thank you guys so much for listening. We've been doing good, man. We're at almost 1,200 downloads just on Podbean. That's not including iTunes. So guys, we're doing it. The 6-month goal was 2,500 or 5,000 downloads. I'll have to go look. But I don't think I'm going to get to the 150 subscribers because I don't think a lot of people know about Podbean. So I only have like 10 subscribers. So if you guys do listen to this all the time, please go subscribe on Podbean. So I could reach my goal for sure. I don't know, because iTunes doesn't tell you if you how many subscribers you have or not. Just weird. iTunes, get your shit together. But I promise next time will be a little bit lighter. I just this shit's been on my mind for a while, so I wanted to really get into it. So again, guys, thank you so much for listening. I apologize if this one didn't sound that good too, the quality, because of I don't have my microphone with me. This is just on the phone. So anyway, please give me some feedback. Go subscribe. I mean, let me know if you guys would want a t-shirt or not. I promise you they're fucking sweet. Yeah, y'all. Until next time, peace.